Both parties are guilty of supporting militarism despite what their constituents want. This is exactly the reason why we are here today. We have the power to make change, but we have to hold our elected officials accountable. Today we have guests and video messages from those who support our peace efforts, beginning with a video from Congresswoman Gwen Moore, who was just one of 93 Democrats to vote in favor of cutting the military budget. We in Milwaukee are proud to have her represent a more peaceful foreign policy.
Our nation is crying out for change and for new leadership and a new direction. And we can start with the Department of Defense budget. We have to face the reality that our Pentagon budget has been bloated for years, increasing dramatically since September 11th, 2001. And the U.S. spends more money than any other nation on our military. We need to desperately invest in our other pressing needs, education and social services and health care. And as your representative, I will continue to work with you every step of the way.
It is time that we stop putting so much money into our war-fighting abilities and actually put money into our foreign policy. When we're spending more time fighting with Denmark over Greenland than actually trying to make sure we're not creating a nuclear program in North Korea, that's a problem. We need to do everything we can to make this nation a nation of peace. We cannot do 4 more years of the Donald Trump America First policies that are doing everything but putting America first. We can't keep fighting wars that we don't need to. We can't keep being involved in conflicts that make no sense. I think it's time for a change. It's time we get rid of Donald Trump.
My name is Mark Foreman, and I am not a proud veteran of the Vietnam War. I am a proud lifetime member of Veterans for Peace, and that's why I'm here today to speak in support of significantly reducing our military budget. We the people need to stop our legislators from voting every year to add more and more of our tax dollars to the military budget. And if they don't do it, we need to elect new people who will. It's time to invest in our people, not war.
The cost of the World Food Program's response is estimated at $4.9 billion to deal with starvation. A lot of money, but compared to the Pentagon budget, think about it. Make no mistake, if we do not act now to end this pandemic of human suffering, many people will die.
There's a reason there's not enough money, because that money is going to the special interests. Right now, the government's planning on a multi-billion-dollar new fighter jet that we don't need to fight against enemies we don't have. It's up to each and every one of us to hold our elected officials accountable for the money they spend and for the money that they collect. Because that money's got to come from somewhere. Well, it's not coming from the average person, I can tell you that. It's coming from the special interest, and the biggest special interest of all is the military-industrial complex.
People don't want more war. They don't want to see more of our young men and women sent overseas in service of political interests that don't advance global peace and justice and prosperity. And those mainstream views represented here carry to domestic issues, because they're deeply connected to the same fight that we're having in the streets here in Milwaukee and across the nation to re-engage our investments away from police and armed intervention into the human needs that people want to see in our communities. And the way that we do that is by rolling back the massive increased investment that Donald Trump and his administration have made in the military, and refocus that on education and on healthcare, on protecting the environment, on investing in jobs and in families and in real people in our education system, so we can have a stronger country for everybody. Yeah. We elect them, and then every day we're marching in the streets, we're writing letters, we're writing op-eds, we're meeting with these politicians in their offices, and we're doing everything we can to hold them accountable all the way to a new America. Thank you.
We believe the whole nuclear arsenal must be dismantled, and the money should be spent on human needs and preserving and restoring our natural world. Thank you.
It is time to end all wars. It is time to end all violence. It is time to end all needless suffering. It is time for justice. It is time for peace. Thank you.
I'm looking at the way our government is spending money, putting money towards military spending rather than investing in the people of this country. If they would redirect those funds into investing in affordable housing, family supporting jobs, education, community advocates wouldn't be needed. We need to hold our government officials accountable for redirecting funding into investing in the people of this nation, not in the military. Thank you.
Now, while I'm here today to talk about militarism, I think it would be an absolute mistake to not talk about all of the other issues that plague this country. Wisconsin taxpayers contributed $11.3 billion to the Pentagon and military in 2019. $11.3 billion. Instead, with that same amount of money, we could have created 200,000 infrastructure jobs, healthcare for 4.5 million adults, and scholarships for every single four-year college student in the state. Or we could have covered the cost of Medicaid for 1.4 million adults for the past 17 years, which clearly was necessary because almost 1,000 people have died in this state from COVID-19. Forward together.
Not one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
Come on, y'all. Forward together.
Not one step back.
Thank you so much.
We have no time to waste for politicians who sell us their empty promises. And we have no time to lose on budgets that inflate the military-industrial complex and squeeze the working families of America.
Yeah.
We have no time to waste on providing for the 170,000 who have lost a loved one to COVID in America. And there is no time to lose on providing for the millions more in need of employment and economic reform. And that's why I could not in good conscience vote for that moderate party platform that was presented before me.
Yes. All right, Tony.
Because when they ask me, what will they pen the story of your generation? I'll tell them that I did as the great John R. Lewis asked us all to do. And that is, let them say that it was my generation that laid down the heavy burdens of hate at last. And let them say it was my generation where peace finally triumphed over violence, aggression, and war. Walk with the wind, brothers and sisters, and let the spirit of peace and the power of everlasting love be your guide. Thank you.
Yeah.
Today's the 80th day straight that they've been marching for Black Lives right here in Milwaukee, the longest running protest in the country. And I'd like to thank people that are here that have been supporting with your resources, your time, your energy, your dollars to make sure that this current surge of activism continues. It is the people that are standing up right now to make this union more perfect. It is not Donald Trump. Make some noise for that.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
And I'm so proud of the members of Congress that are stepping up for a 10% cut in defense spending, because $74 billion can do a lot to invest right back home in the lives of people and children and school districts and families. Those people that are coming together right now in this moment are defining what it is to change America. Thank you guys so much.
This is like a moment of solidarity for us. We want to invest in people, not violence.
Yes.